been a while. I recently, well, it hasn't been a while, actually. It's been not very long at all. But recently, that aside, I was trolling around the World Wide Web on my Samsung Note 9. Samsung, please pay for my videos. I was surfing the web and I discovered an article called 19 Netflix original films that we would have paid to see in theaters. 2018 originals. And I haven't seen this list yet, but I have seen a couple of lists about Netflix movies this year from like Rotten Tomatoes and all that. And most of them I disagree with, but you know, that comes with the territory of being me at this point. But Netflix has actually stepped up their game quite a bit this year. They've actually released some legitimately great movies, and I mean, there's some that aren't great, of course, but it comes with the territory of being a movie studio. You have some hits and you have some duds. So I'm gonna go through this 19 Netflix original films that we would have paid to see list and just kind of react to it and give my general thoughts about the list. So let's go. Number 1 on the list, Like Father, a movie I have not seen. Number 2 on the list, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. One of the most cringe-inducing movies I have seen all year.
Well, I wrote 5 letters, so don't go feeling too special.
You wrote 5 love letters?
Yeah.
Damn, Covey, you're a player.
Don't watch this. Number 12 on the list, finally a movie that I've actually seen. Most of these I have not seen or cared to see, is Apostle, which is a good movie. Apostle is a solid movie. It's from the director of The Raid and The Raid 2. The Raid Redemption is the first one. It's a solid movie. It's a bit messy and kind of dumb at times, but I think this one deserves to be on the list. I would have actually seen this movie in theaters and been at least pleased overall with it. Seeing it on Netflix, same reaction. I was overall happy, but not, satisfied or anything. Anyway, number 13, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is probably Netflix's best movie, and it should have been number 1 on this list. I don't know if this is a from best to worst list, but if it is, then shame on you. Popsugar.com. Ballad of Buster Scruggs is easily the best movie on Netflix and the best movie they've ever released. Thank you, Coen Brothers, for just being amazing in general.
Let me tell you, buddy, there's a faster gun coming over yonder when tomorrow comes. Let me tell you, buddy, and it won't be long till you find yourself singing your last cowboy song. Yippee-ki-yay, when the roundup ends.
Next on the list, number 14, Outlaw King. Which isn't a very good movie, but I probably would have paid to see it because David Mackenzie directed it and he did Hell or High Water, which was a good movie. But Outlaw King is, I don't want to say boring, because it's not boring, but it is a little light, I would say. For a movie so violent and so grim, it feels like eating sugar-free candy. I don't know, that may not be the best analogy, but maybe it should have been at the bottom of this list. Next, 15, Dumplin'. I would not have seen this in theaters. I wouldn't have paid to see this ever. This movie is not very good. It's fine, I guess.
This is my daughter, Rendan. Wow. Okay.
17, Private Life. Would not have seen this in theaters. This movie is boring. It is very boring. I didn't know much about it going in. I haven't seen anything from the director beforehand, but This is boring. I didn't finish it. I usually like these kind of character study movies, but I found Catherine Hahn and Paul Giamatti intensely unlikable. It's all about them wanting a baby and going through all these steps to get it. And they don't do much aside from argue and yell and be loud and just obnoxious.
Everyone is so convinced of their own artistic promise that I'm like, hey, my uncle is an award-winning theater genius, and my aunt is a real-life playwright, and they're over 40 and still have to live in a rent-stabilized apartment on Avenue A with, like, drunks and graffiti in the front. So don't talk to me about the sacrifices you're making to be an artist, okay?
And finally, The Other Side of the Wind, number 19. This one I would have paid to see in theaters. I'll give them that. I definitely would have paid to see this one because it is Orson Welles' last movie. But I don't find it that great. I think the movie is just kind of overall. It's kind of a mess. I don't really care about anything that's happening in it. And it does sort of show that it was kind of just this cobbled together thing that Netflix just wanted to release because of Orson Welles' name and his legacy.
Is that what this movie's about?
Well, we don't actually know.
I would have actually much rather have seen The Love Me When I'm Dead on this list, which is the documentary about the making of this movie, which is way more interesting than the movie itself and way more watchable than the movie itself. Some other things that I think should have been on this list is the Cloverfield Paradox. Just simply because I would have paid to see it in theaters, because it's hilariously bad. I would have also paid to see Roma in theaters. I'm not sure when this list was released, but I'm assuming it wasn't released in the past few days, because that's when it hit Netflix. So maybe, you know, if you ever want a recommendation on a Netflix movie to watch, you can hit me up on Twitter. The link is in the description, so follow me there. I actually do tweet out every once in a while a short list of some movies I recommend from Netflix, usually like 10 or 15 every month or so, maybe 2. So yeah, if you want a recommendation, you can hit me up on Twitter, ask a recommendation, and I will be happy to oblige you with some movies that I think are very good that you can watch right now on Netflix. I don't have Amazon Prime currently, so don't ask me about that, and I don't have Hulu, so also don't ask me about that.